So that's recording. All right, that should be recording. Welcome to the podcast. Podcastville.
Welcome.
And now, we take you to our photo from the field, podcast, where we connect homeowners with home experts, sponsored by SiteTech. And now, here's your host. We take you to our photo from the field, and Kevin Christie. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I think it's I just gotta hit it real quick.
Welcome to the Home Inspection Connection podcast, where we connect homeowners with home experts, sponsored by SiteTech. And now, here's your hosts, Josh Downey, Zach Porter, and Kevin Christie. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Testing. I can hear me.
We're going live. Fetching video.
Here we are.
There. All right.
Yeah.
Definitely live. All right, we're still trying to get set up here. You guys hear anything?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Sounds good.
I think everything's the same here. These are a little bit up. How about that? They're not. Everything's matched. All right, welcome everybody to the second episode we're calling Winter is Coming. It's going to be a fall maintenance themed. Couple updates. So we got an office finally. SiteTech has an HQ out here in Tacoma off Steel Street. So that's where we're coming from today. It's a pretty small little office, but it does the job. We'll probably outgrow this thing in about 20 minutes and then need a bigger space. But that's good. That's a good problem to have. So October was a killer month. It was our second busiest month of the year, which is surprising because stuff's supposed to start dying down towards the holiday season. So it was good to have that. Congratulations to all of our brokers for killing it this week, or I guess this month, selling a bunch of houses. All right, we got some people joining. Maybe they're just passing by. Anyway, if anyone has any questions about your home or maybe a story you'd like to share about, a broken pipe or any kind of home maintenance issues, let us know. We'd love to talk about that. So fall maintenance, what are we seeing out there right now as far as defects related to the weather change? We can go ahead and start with the roof.
With the
So
weather
obviously,
change?
Yeah, we got a lot of debris on the roofs from leaves falling, filling up the gutters, which can lead to clogged gutters, roof leaks. So obviously we want to be checking for that.
Yeah, we see a lot of issues with that. If those gutters are clogged, those gutters fill up with water and then it just backs up underneath the shingles, seeing a lot of roof sheathing rotting out, stuff like that. Yeah, that's keeping those gutters clean.
Another thing, over the summer, all the foliage and trees grow. So about this time of year, we see them overhanging the roof a lot, which they shouldn't be. So just getting up on that roof and trimming those trees back is going to extend the life of the roof and just make it a lot easier to clean.
And also using downspout extensions or splash blocks to keep the water away from the foundation. You see a lot of times, especially with the heavy rainfall, where you get a lot of water build up right at the foundation and actually start eroding the soil away, which can lead to problems.
Yeah.
We've been finding these a lot. Well, not a lot. We'd like to see them more, but the little screens that are over the downspout connection to the gutter, those are awesome.
Yeah, those are great.
It's going to prevent
super cheap.
Yeah, and easy to install too. It's going to prevent any debris from getting down in that downspout and potentially clogging up the underground drains. So that's huge. And some people ask a lot about gutter guards. I don't think they're very good. I think they just get clogged up and they're more of a hassle than they're worth.
I feel like you have to maintain those just as much as a regular gutter. 'Cause
I'd say so.
I've seen them a lot where they actually fall into the gutter and obstruct it even more.
Yeah. So yeah, keeping that roof clean is going to extend the life of it, and it's going to make it look good too. With gutter cleanings, it's not just scooping out the stuff that's stuck inside. I would recommend washing the outside of it too. It's going to make the appearance of your house look a lot better, and keep it clean.
Well, the more debris you have on the outside of the house, the more mildew is able to grow on that as well.
Yeah, and since we're coming into the wet season, it's a good idea to get up there and check all the flashing too, and seal any kind of penetration that the flashing might be used or held down with.
Yeah, repainting any of those areas where flashing isn't, like the rafter tails.
Hi, Lauren.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lauren says hi. All right. So, what else for the roof, guys? What do we see for the chimney? Is there anything we should talk about that? Especially people starting to use their chimney more this time of year.
I would definitely recommend getting it serviced, cleaned out, get a chimney sweep out there, make sure it's good to go.
Yep. And a lot of times we see a lot of chimneys without caps on them.
Yeah, so crud and everything just getting in there, birds are in there.
All that rainwater is
missing,
going to sit on the damper, rust out your damper, and then you got bigger issues.
Yep.
And I'd say a good rule of thumb too, like when we're inspecting your home, we're going to tell you that you should have that chimney swept before you start a fire in it. We don't know what the previous owner was burning in there or whether or not it was decommissioned. I had one the other day that had foam and it was about 3 feet up, so you couldn't see it by just bending down. You had to know that there was foam in there decommissioning in it. So that would be black smoke coming out of the roof, and that'd be rough. Plus, we got to get Santa Claus down there in another month, so clean your chimneys. All right, let's talk about walking around the exterior. What are we seeing? We've already talked a little bit about the underground drains and downspout connections.
Yep. So exterior, primarily what we see is cracked caulking around windows, doors, siding joints. So obviously we want to check for those things, recalk if necessary, paint.
Easy one is getting those hose bib insulators.
Yeah.
Cover your hose bibs so those don't get damaged.
Yeah, disconnect your hoses.
Draining any water out of a cold wall as well.
And some of those hose bibs that are on the exterior of like the garage, they have the shutoffs for them.
Yeah, those are nice. Some people call that their main shutoff, and I always like to tell people, no, that's just for your hose bibs. In that cold wall, that wall that's not heated.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely draining those. So you're shutting the water off in the garage, and then you're going outside and you're draining the hose bib, and then shutting it off. And of course, the hoses should already be removed. Caulking. So it's always funny. How many times can I say caulk in a home inspection debrief? But yeah, this is the time to get out there with the caulk gun. I always recommend the clear silicone caulk by DAP, D-A-P. It's the most expensive brand in the caulking section at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's like $7 a tube. But get out there and use that around your windows.
Yeah,
Invest in a
don't
case of it
skimp
if you
on
want.
the caulk.
Yeah.
You're talking a couple bucks for potentially 10 plus years.
And sometimes it's best to scrape the old caulk out and then put new stuff in. Don't just layer it over another bead of caulk year after year.
Let's talk about a controversial topic. Foundation vents.
Foundation vents,
Yeah.
open or closed?
Yep.
What do you think?
Open.
Open. We want air movement down in that crawl space. The argument, if I could take the other side real quick, is, guys, why don't we want to close them up? Because cold air is going to get in there and my pipes might not be insulated, so they might freeze.
Insulate your pipes.
There you go. Okay.
Floors.
Yeah, and I guess it could depend on what type of pipes you have as well. But, improving your crawl space by adding insulation is huge, not only for energy efficiency, but keeping those pipes protected from the cold weather. Kevin, recently, you want to talk about your insulation job you had done at your house?
Yeah, we bought our house last February, and no insulation in the house whatsoever. Spent a few $1,000s, got the crawl space insulated, pipes. They insulated the ductwork for the heating system. Did insulation in the walls and in the attic space, and we went from the furnace running nonstop all day to now it'll kick on. It'll cycle probably twice, and then it maintains that all throughout the day. And we're in 20, 30 degree weather right now.
Yeah.
So
Makes a huge difference.
definitely gets it pays for itself quickly. Yeah,
And they insulated the
absolutely.
pipes and the ducts and stuff down there.
Yep, all that stuff.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, right on.
That's awesome. And it wasn't too bad at the price, right?
No, no.
Nice.
I think it ended up being about $4,000 for all
So
that.
so you're probably going to save that. You're probably going to get that money back in energy savings,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
within a few years,
Yep.
if not sooner.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
absolutely.
That's a great improvement to the house and the overall condition of the crawl space.
For your walls, did they cut holes in the siding and
Yeah,
blow
we
it in that way?
retextured the interior of the house, so we just had them go through the sheetrock. They drilled holes,
Oh,
blew
okay.
it in the cavities. If the inside of the house is finished, they'll do it on the exterior also,
Okay.
and then they plug it.
Yeah, that's how my
Yep.
house is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Either way, but definitely makes a huge difference. Definitely recommend insulation.
Right on.
So another thing about those about the foundation is just making sure the grading sloped away from it. Heading into the rainy season, we don't want any moisture or any puddles hanging out next to that foundation wall. It will eventually get inside the crawl space. How about like yard maintenance? What do you guys recommend?
It's
Rake
time
your
to
leaves.
time to rake up those leaves. Anything that blows up, piles of leaves up against your house is
Yep.
gonna,
It's just
hold
gonna make,
moisture. It's gonna be a nice warm nest for some
For
pests.
pests, yeah.
Like a compound effect too. It's like when you see them start coming down, go out and get them raked up because there's going to be more coming, right? And it might make spring cleanup a lot easier too. You want to look a lot better.
Yeah.
So checking downspouts, drains, and splash blocks. So we want to push any kind of water coming off our roof away from the foundation as much as possible. The best thing to do is to have an underground drain installed. A lot of homes do have that, and some of the problems we see with that is the connection of the downspout to the drain is compromised, and it's actually leaking outside of the drain, or that corrugated drain line stuff. That stuff cracks eventually. I'd always recommend a big, thick PVC pipe for the drain rather than the corrugated stuff. And then splash blocks, at minimum, at least have a 90-degree elbow coming out of your downspout with a splash block just to push it away. Whenever we find moisture in the crawl space, it's usually because of a downspout problem.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
typically what's going on there.
Yeah.
foundation vents being too low too.
That's another thing. Yeah, go ahead and talk about that a little bit. We've been seeing that a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, some houses it's kind of hard because the grading doesn't really allow for them to pull the dirt away. So what do? You got to block that off somehow. So you want to keep that ventilation going in there. You don't want to block it off completely,
Right.
but you want to make sure that water can't get in there. On
There's
my
the
house,
wells
I
they
have
have.
little window wells on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, wells, and dig it down below the
Yeah.
vent screen and have some gravel in there.
So when we're on the exterior looking at the foundation, we see foundation vent screens that are completely level with the grading or the ground. When we get in the crawl space, there's a bunch of crud coming inside of that, and usually pests. I see slugs, the little
Oh,
juice
yeah.
from the slugs all the time coming through, and then sometimes we actually see water dripping in from there as well. It's actually a really easy fix, but the solution is definitely not to just close up that foundation vent screen. It's to get everything raked away.
Yeah, but you definitely want to check the screens, make sure that they are sealed. You
Yeah,
remember that
check all
house
your
that we,
screens. Yeah,
that we inspected had wide open. One vent screen was wide open, and
completely missing.
there was a large pest in there that did a lot of damage. A lot of
Every time there's
insulation
a hole,
damage.
there's a pest.
It
That was-
disconnected some ducts, so all the
Yeah.
hot air was blowing into the crawl space. It wasn't going to the rooms that it was supposed to be
Completely
going
tore
to.
that up. It was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
Yeah, checking all your foundation vent screens, making sure that no pests can get in there. Because your crawl space is going to be warmer than outside, probably.
yeah. And they're gonna want to get in there and make a nest or whatever.
Get in that ducting.
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't that be a nice surprise?
I don't know if anyone's watching, but blink twice if we sound good, or just tell us in the chat. Last time we had a really bad echo, so hopefully episode 2 sounds better.
Yeah.
But I know why. We were doing a fancy picture-in-picture situation, and that's what happened.
Yep.
So we're still on the exterior talking about fall maintenance. Nice. So we talked about caulking the windows, trimming bushes, trimming trees. You want a good air gap from like 2 feet, would you say?
Yeah.
From the siding.
Yeah.
We should have taken you might have taken the picture, but the other day we had a little, I think it was a rhododendron bush right up against the foundation. There was like 2 slugs up against the siding.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why. Slugs probably won't eat your house, but there's other bugs that will. We talked about checking the downspouts, splash blocks, and the connection to the underground drains, removing hose bibs and install the foam covers. Get them on there. We'll probably be removing those to check hose bibs until about March, April.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see those on there. Maybe we should sell those or put them on for free for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of exterior repairs besides caulking do you think people should know about?
Painting would be good. I mean, you don't want
Painting.
exposed wood or exposed
Scrape and paint.
The
Yeah.
LP siding or the compressed sawdust siding that
People, you can
wicks up water a lot easier.
restain your deck right before winter. Make sure it's sealed up.
Yeah. It's good too. A lot of stuff you're doing now is to protect it through the crappy weather season and then make your spring easier, because you don't want to be doing that stuff when the warm weather comes around.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the systems. So there's a few things that it's always good to schedule professionals to come out and do. And that would be the furnace cleaning. And we already talked a little bit about the chimney being swept. So furnace, how often should we have that serviced?
Every year.
Yeah, once a year.
Every year, and
Yeah, I
they're
think-
coming in, cleaning it out and inspecting it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And recommend, do it in the fall, right? Do it before you need to use it. You don't want to get into wintertime, turn it on, nothing happens. And now all the furnace companies are backed up because everybody else is having issues, and now you're without heat.
Yep. That was
in your
us
home.
last year. We
Yep.
got a new furnace last year because it didn't.
Because it didn't work.
No.
Yep. And then for your furnace, home maintenance task, check your air filters, right?
Yep.
Want to
Change
make
'em.
sure that those are clean, free flowing, so
And-
that your furnace doesn't have to work as hard.
And if you have pets, probably change them a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Allergens, especially if you have allergies.
So at my house, to get ready for winter, I have to fill up my oil tank.
Yep.
And then some people also have propane.
I-
So getting those bottles filled up, making sure they're, the tank's good, the bottle's good, performing a gas leak check is something that we could come out and do for you. I think my tank's only about 8 years old, so it's a pretty new tank, and it's not in ground, so I'm able to look at it and fully inspect it and its connection into the crawl space into the furnace.
Nice.
Sometimes I have to go down there and bleed the system because it hasn't been on all year, but it's been, I think, 3 years in a row now I haven't had to go bleed it, so that's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Lucky. What else for the furnace? So I think we covered that. Just having a furnace company come out there, and you could always call Site Tech, and we'll recommend someone to come out there and give it a clean bill of health.
Yeah. We can come out and look in your crawl space too. We can see if your
Yeah.
ducts are connected, sealed, insulated. We can tell you all that stuff. If your pipes are insulated, we'll give you some recommendations.
Love to do that. So another thing for the systems is electrical. So a lot of homes out here, they have overhead service, and over the summer all the trees have grown, so sometimes that main service wire coming into your home is now obstructed by trees or has the opportunity to be taken down by a falling branch or falling tree. So probably the utility company will come out there and deal with that, or an arborist. Just trimming those back, because it's going to get windy. The trees are going to get heavy, and that's a good way to lose power.
So what about, let's talk about, people think about their furnace, servicing it, but what do people need to do with their AC unit or their heat pump? It's sitting on the outside of the house all winter.
You can definitely cover that up.
Cover that up, and any kind of window AC unit, remove it, take it out, and then also inspect, look inside of it, look for any kind of debris, and if you see that kind of stuff, it needs to be serviced and cleaned out, so it'll work again next year. Catherine says, have you covered fireplaces yet? I love a good wood fire. Me
Yes.
too.
We
Yes.
covered that.
Me too. But, maybe stocking up on wood. And where do we not want to store the wood for our fireplace?
Up against the house.
Yeah. Do not store the wood up against the house. Maybe build a little wood shed for it or just keep it out in the back so it's drying out.
Yep.
So, yeah, Catherine, we want you to service your chimney. We want that swept so it's clean. And then just stock up on wood.
Did we touch on sprinklers?
Sprinklers. Well, let's talk about sprinklers. So it's getting cold out. What do we want to do with those sprinklers?
A lot of them have a connection where you can actually blow them out. So you want to shut those valves off and blow it out so you don't have any water in there.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have fun in the springtime
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
some sprinkler repair.
And it rains a lot. What are you doing? Watering your watering your grass. Definitely don't use it in freezing temperatures. That's going to cause problems. Let's see here. So let's talk about the interior. My thing about the interior was I'd like to do a good deep clean before the winter starts. Behind the fridge, behind the stove, because I'm going to be inside cooking a lot more. I'm going to be in the kitchen a lot more during the winter. It's cold outside. It gets dark early. So I want that stuff to be all kind of styled and dialed, ready to go. So I'm not dealing with that kind of stuff when I'm using that area a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Like you said, check your refrigerator, especially if you have one that has, ice and water in it that has a water line connected to it. Check for any leaks. Obviously, that it wouldn't be good, but at least if you periodically check it, then you'll catch it sooner if
I have
there
found
is
some
a
high
problem.
moisture around the fridge before. Just with that little hose dripping, it can create some issues.
Right.
Yeah, and like a good oven cleaning too. Just getting that out.
Yeah, especially if you're using
I
it.
think Josh really likes cleaning.
He does.
I like a clean kitchen, an organized kitchen. Yeah, same thing with washer and dryer too. I look behind washer and dryers every day, and gosh, one of the things I find is disconnected ducts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Dryer
that's for
lint.
the dryer lint, and it's just everywhere. Whether it's right behind the dryer or it's been disconnected in the crawl space.
And really keeping that crawl space nice and warm.
Yeah, and it makes it smell nice too.
That's true.
You don't want your pipes to freeze, just disconnect your dryer duct down there.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We have a great $30 improvement or repair, I guess we'd talk about for washing machines, and that's the hoses, the supply line hoses. If you're listening to this, go do this right now. So go behind your washing machine and check for black hoses. On those black hoses, you'll see an expiration date on it, and I bet you it's expired. So those things last for about 5 years, and they're prone to bursting. Yeah, it happened at my house. So what we recommend is to change those out to steel braided hoses. We call that out on almost every home inspection we're at, especially if your unit or if your washer and dryer is upstairs. Get steel braided hoses.
Yeah.
And a drip pan for
And
the
a drip
washing
pan.
machine.
Yeah, so that'll cost $30. I think they might even be $12 a piece.
Yeah, depending on which store you're at.
Shut it down at the valve there right behind the washing machine. Change them out. Get some Teflon tape on there as well. And you'll never have to deal with those again until you move.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got cleaning. How about smoke and carbon monoxide detectors?
You want them.
Yes, you want
want
them and test them, especially a lot of people are going to be using their wood stoves.
Yep.
And we want to make sure that those things are functioning properly.
So just reach up, hit the button, or are we changing out batteries or both?
Or look up, and if they have a nice yellow tint to them, it's probably time to change it.
There you go. They kind of age, so they turn colors on the ceiling. So if you're looking at your smoke detector right now and it's yellow, go get a new one. It'll save your life. It'll save your home. Or if you're like me and you just cook really hot, it'll just what's that Bill Engvall? I think the turkey was done before that particular timer goes off. Smoke detector.
Yeah.
So yeah, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely recommend those. How about so I guess we can talk a little bit about home energy. So sealing around your doors, like the weather stripping, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is something we do at home inspections that we can come do at your house. We take a thermal camera around all the doors, and you could see the air movement coming through, the cold air coming into the home. So the best way to do that around doors is just make sure you have a good weather stripping all the way around.
And that weather stripping is pretty easy. It just pulls out, slides back in.
Yeah.
And it's not too expensive.
You know, garages too. Not only does the bottom part keep moisture from coming in, but it also keeps air from coming in as well.
Yeah.
Keep a warmer garage. How about windows? We talked about caulking on the exterior. Is there anything they need to know about interior of the windows? Just more caulking or seals?
Yeah, you can check where your sheetrock or molding meets up with your window. Caulk those two, because you can actually feel around the window, and if you feel a draft, then chances are you got.
If you only have single pane windows, you might want to save up for some double pane windows.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
You can always check with your utility company too. There's a lot of times there's rebates for improvements such as new windows and adding insulation, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So check weather stripping. That's good, and make sure the windows are operating fully, and that'll be a good sign of when they need to be replaced if they're not opening and closing with ease.
You can also check if you pull your heat registers out on your floors.
Yeah.
Check around your ducts too. Maybe if you got some big gaps or something,
Yep.
you might be losing heat there.
Yeah, I had to
cold
seal-
air coming up from your crawl
seal
space.
around mine.
Yeah. And also, one other thing that we see a lot is the attic access in your closet or wherever it is in your house, or the crawl space. They're not insulated.
Yeah.
So
you'll
any of
be-
that cold air or
definitely
your
lose
warm air is going up through your attic.
Yeah.
Just told that guy to go around. We're right by McCord Air Force Base, so we get to watch airplanes all day.
Yeah.
We actually saw Air Force One come in,
Yeah, that was
or
like
one of them.
one of them
Yeah.
a month ago.
Sidetracked. All right. So, what about stocking up on winter items? You guys have any suggestions for that?
A little bit of food storage.
Food, water, right?
Get some extra batteries for the
Batteries.
Full
flashlight.
prepper mode
Yeah.
every year.
Well, I mean, the power does go out around here. And
Yeah.
a lot of times it's a mad dash to the sporting goods store to buy some supplies and stuff's sold out. So
Make
be
sure your
prepared.
bomb shelter's in good working order.
Yeah.
We'll come out and inspect that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good bomb shelter story. We'll save that for another
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
So I stock up on batteries. Amazon sells the cheapest batteries, and I think they're pretty good. I also stock up on water. Other than that, I make sure I have oil in my tank. What else? I just bought a new scraper for the windshield on my car. That's kind of a winter item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't really talk about cars. Candles, just in case the power goes out. That's always
Yep.
good to have. And then canned food. Why not?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case. All right. Well, that was most of our notes. Of course, we could always come in and do a winter inspection for you. We do this, a smaller inspection called a track inspection, which is thermal imaging, roof, attic, and crawl space, and no report. And so basically it's a consultation, walkthrough inspection, and we do that for $300. And we always find stuff wrong. And then we make suggestions for repairs or replacement. So if you want to do that, just go ahead and give us a call or shoot us an email. I don't know if there's any more questions. We could hang out. And if anyone pops in to say hi, we can answer their questions. Actually, I might have had some questions written in from earlier. Whoops. First one was, do I block my foundation vents? We covered that. Should I clean my roof? Yeah. How do we prevent freezing pipes?
Insulating them.
Just making sure the pipes are insulated. Do I need to do anything with my AC unit? Cover them.
Cover it up. Yeah.
Yep.
So I see them covered.
A lot of people here don't even have AC units.
Yeah, we have heat pumps. Just remember to take the cover off before you turn it back on, because that thing's just gonna.
Yeah.
It's like trying to breathe in a plastic bag. We talked about changing out the furnace filters.
How often should you change them on average?
It depends on the house, you know,
Depends
and
on the filter too.
yeah, as much as possible. Like me, my dog he always brings in dirt and all kinds of stuff. So I'm doing it probably every 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, just keeping it clean. And I noticed that my house gets less. I have an old home. It gets less dusty when there's a clean filter in there. So when dust starts hanging out on horizontal surfaces, I'll get down there and change it out.
Yeah.
You know, new homes, I actually recommend changing it, you know, probably once in the first 3 months and then again at 6 and then, you know, probably year after that, because they just went through and did all their drywall sanding and all that stuff's usually in the ducts still. So keeping that cleaned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cleaning out the gutters. Thanks for those questions. I think that's all the questions we got here. Let me check Facebook again.
And going back to the furnaces, so like if you do have oil,
Oh shit! Hold on.
you'll be having a lot of soot in your furnace if you have an oil furnace. So you want to get that vacuumed out like every 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
just to keep it running well. It'll help extend the life of
Will they take care of
the
that when
furnace
you,
itself.
when you get it serviced? once a year?
There's typically they don't do it when they service them. It's a specific company that
Oh,
can
really?
come out. Yeah, and they
Okay.
actually come out with a vac truck and they get in there and they clean it all out. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing that also.
Yeah, that would be good.
Lauren says it's nice having a little propane stove, just in case everything's out.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
a
if
bad
you have to
idea.
cook.
Yeah.
If you don't have natural gas, right?
Camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those
Just
are
do it.
fun.
Just do it outside. Don't do it inside.
All right. Well, I think this is going to conclude episode 2. Winter is coming of the Home Inspection Connection. I'd play the outro right now, but I might hit the wrong button and might be. Anyway, so thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
if
for
you have
coming
any
in.
questions, give us a call. We'd be happy to come
Yep.
check out the winterization of your home.
Enjoy your weekend.